Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1981 Star Wars Empire Strikes Back action figure, Dengar. Star Wars figures were easily some of my favorite toys as a kid. When The Empire Strikes Back came out, more figures arrived, and that meant new characters for my many Star Wars adventures. Looking back, it seems like Kenner may have planned ahead with their Empire Strikes Back action figure releases. They released about 11 figures in 1980, another 9 in 1981, and 9 more in 1982. Each release had some of the main characters and a few figures for characters who had smaller parts in the movie. Some of those smaller characters made great action figures, while others weren't as exciting to me, but the fact that each year Kenner included a mix of main and background characters does make me wonder if they had more of a plan this time around. Even though most of them were only on the screen for a few seconds, the bounty hunters were some of the coolest and most interesting figures to arrive with the new movie. The most famous bounty hunter from the Star Wars galaxy was obviously Boba Fett. Even before The Empire Strikes Back hit the theaters, we'd already seen this guy in the cartoon part of the Star Wars Holiday Special in November of 1978, and the action figure for Boba Fett had been available through a mail-away offer in 1979. We were introduced to two more bounty hunters with the first wave of Empire Strikes Back figures in 1980, and now we knew that tall robot was IG-88 and the hissing reptilian alien in the yellow spacesuit was Bosk. The second wave of Empire Strikes Back figures arrived in 1981, and we only got one new bounty hunter, that was Dengar. Although I liked my Dengar action figure, I have to admit that he wasn't my favorite bounty hunter. It's tough to compete with figures like Boba Fett, Bosk, and IG-88, but I was still happy to add another bounty hunter to my collection, and this new character did see a good bit of action during my childhood Star Wars adventures. I'm sure I didn't remember Dengar from seeing him in the movie. He's only in The Empire Strikes Back for a single shot that lasts about 10 seconds, and he's in the background for that one shot. He didn't do anything but stand there, and he's not even in focus for his extremely brief time on screen. However, my Star Wars figures had hundreds of adventures that were completely unrelated to the movie, so Dengar played a bigger role as an action figure than he ever did in The Empire Strikes Back. Dengar was covered in bandages and armor and looked like he'd been through some really tough times in his life. He had scars on his face and appeared to have a very sour disposition. What had happened to this guy before his appearance in the movie? He wore a large backpack and carried the same gun that came with the stormtroopers in the Hoth battle gear. Where did he acquire this gun? Had he taken it from a stormtrooper that he'd killed? As a kid, these were important questions to me that were never answered to my satisfaction. Many of the Dengar figures that I see today suffer from fading paint on their faces. Just like mine, the paint seems to have turned a pale yellowish color. However, I do sometimes see Dengar figures whose faces have remained more pink. I'm not sure if it's just a different batch of paint from the factory, or if different temperature, humidity, or light conditions have led to this color change. But I can say that my figures faded despite being in a dark box for many decades, so mine wasn't affected by the sunlight. As a kid, I didn't know much about Dengar besides the fact that he was a bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back. Since his appearance in the movie was so brief, I was much more familiar with him as an action figure than as a character from the movie, but he did make a few other minor appearances back in the 80s. In addition to his quick scene in The Empire Strikes Back, Dengar also appeared in a few of the Marvel Star Wars comic books. He was even featured with Boba Fett and Bosk on the cover of Star Wars issue number 42. Even though he was never an A-list figure for me, I did like Dengar, and I think it's cool that he's developed his own fan base. There's some collectors out there who chase after all the different packaging variations of Dengar, and apparently there were quite a few of them. I guess when you have a franchise as popular as Star Wars, there's going to be someone out there interested in even the smallest characters, and just by nature of being one of the bounty hunters in The Empire Strikes Back, Dengar was bound to have some fans. What did you think of the Dengar action figure when you were a kid? Were you a fan of the bounty hunters from The Empire Strikes Back? If so, which one was your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a like and share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell so I can let you know when I post new videos. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about Toylanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit Toylanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.